Okay, so perhaps we could leave some minutes for getting questions from the floor. So if someone wants to ask something or make a comment, I think that now is the right time to do this. So, okay, Charlie.
Question for Charlie. On capital requirements, so what's your view, and also there has been some comments, whether they should be higher or not, but on the procyclicality that the present system may have, on the uneven treatment on and off balance sheet activities, whether Basel II makes any sense now as opposed to think of another thing.
So, first of all, the capital requirements have been seen as the universal panacea for some time, and this is clearly not the case. When you study Basel II, you are surprised to think that operational risk, like fraud, you have to cover with 15% of such and such as capital. So come on, operational risk you cannot cover with capital. Of course, if you have small risks that are well diversified, so if the fraud is by €1 for each teller, then okay, it's, you need some capital, but usually fraud is not about this, right? So this, thanks God, means that we have to think about banking regulation in another way than just adding capital requirement. But still, I was 15 days ago in a conference, in a panel, by the way, and the representative of the Swiss banking regulation said it's all about capital requirement. We have to increase the capital requirement. So my view is not the regulators, possibly it's not the regulators one. Right? Procyclicality is an interesting issue. We have been talking a lot about procyclicality, saying that the capital requirements will trigger, and then we won't be able to expand credit precisely at the moment when credit is needed. Two things here. First, accounting, in my view, is much more important. Marking to market is much more important than the Basel II possible procyclicality. Two, there is an identification problem with this issue that procyclicality matters, and that is simply that in a downturn, bankers stop lending no matter whether they are short of capital or long of capital. They revalue the risk, they don't find profitable projects and stop lending. So procyclicality is something that has been overblown somehow.
Thank you very much. So, any other question, comment, or Jose?
Question for Xavier on mark to market. Would you also favor eliminating mark to market, like in situations like we're living right now? Because the Paulson one of the Paulson measures was eliminate mark to market. It's like, yes, perfect. You have toxic assets which you don't know what's the value, and then you eliminate mark to market. It's even worse.
No, definitely. The thing that has to be understood is how to account for risk and how to provision correctly. Now, you have a portfolio of currency, a portfolio of options that are perfectly traded. You have to mark that to market. The problem is that when you value the collateral of a house, real estate, instead of taking the rents and looking at what the rents give you over the long run, you are taking the bubble and consider this as part of the asset. Well, if you consider the idea of Bernanke, yield to maturity, then the equivalent would be regarding housing to look at the rent, and that's the cash flow you can get out of this in case of repossession.
So still we have time for some one or two questions, if there are more, or comments. No? So, okay, so then we are going to finish here this roundtable, thanking the members of the panel. Albert Marcet had to leave before, but also we thank him. So I will tell him personally. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, at the end, it has been intellectually stimulating, so I hope that you have enjoyed.